This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 2016 SeeThruEquity Fall MicroCap Conference in New York City. With me right now is David Lesser from Millennium Investment Acquisition Company, publicly traded company with the symbol SMCG. David, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Great to have you on the program. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company, and we'll go from there.
Sure, we are a microcap company. We essentially have three assets, so it's a fairly simple company to understand. We own a legacy asset, which is, prior to my involvement, the asset the company owned, which is about a 12% ownership in an India-based financial services company called SMC, and they in their own right are looking to go public. More recently, we've acquired an activated carbon biomass plant that's located on the Big Island of Hawaii. And we are actively working to get that plant into commercial operation. And then in addition, we have about $3 million of cash sitting on our balance sheet.
So tell me a little bit about what the primary focus is of the business. You know, where are you trying to take it at this point?
So we really are moving from the original company focus, which was India-based investment, to focus on alternative energy. So that's really my focus and background, and that's what the company now is progressing to focus on. And we've completed, as I mentioned, our first acquisition in that direction, which is this activated carbon biomass plant.
So tell me a little bit about the plant. You know, what is it producing, and for what's the markets that is going to be looking to use this product?
So the plant is a really exciting opportunity. We acquired about a $50 million investment on the part of a large private equity firm. They invested that money to build this plant, and we bought it out of bankruptcy after it went through some struggles. We paid about $1.3 million to acquire the plant, and we are now bringing the plant back online. What we manufacture is a very high-end activated carbon. Activated carbon is a widely used commodity, but our activated carbon is very specialized, very high premium grade quality that is used in energy storage, some advanced energy storage concepts.
So what are some of the applications then for it? You said, you know, energy saving type applications. Tell me a little bit more.
So the main focus we have as an end use for this carbon is in what's called an ultracapacitor. An ultracapacitor is an electric storage device like a battery, but it's really a next generation electric storage device. Unlike a traditional battery that stores electric charge as a reversible chemical reaction, this device actually stores the electricity as an electric charge. And as such, it has some really beneficial properties, and I think it's something that is going to become widely adopted and really start to hit its growth curve as a concept. So we, with this premium activated carbon, are the primary feedstock, the primary component in the manufacture of ultracapacitors.
And how is what you're going to be providing different than what's currently out there?
So again, the energy storage, it's much more efficient through an ultracapacitor than a traditional battery, and we make that feedstock. We make that specialized carbon that is the primary component of that device. So we're really a manufacturer of material that is the primary component of this advanced energy storage device. And we see that device as a huge growth opportunity, a growth market, and so therefore we should come right along with it. Right now there's really one significant manufacturer of this premium activated carbon focused on ultracapacitors, and so we're looking to compete with that primary, almost monopolistic company that's out there doing what we're seeking to do.
And what is the roadmap to commercialization, and is the company funded all the way through to that to get to commercialization?
Sure, so the roadmap is we bought this plant out of bankruptcy. It had been shelved and idled for several years. We have now worked through the entire plant to get it back towards commercial operation. We really have one major remaining step, which we're hoping to complete this year, which is essentially a correction of some design flaws that were made. All the equipment is on site. We've tested from A to Z, all of the components. Everything works and is pretty much ready to go once we complete this one project that we're hoping to complete later this year. And then we will start running the plant and doing test runs to try to optimize and make sure that it runs to produce the quality of carbon that we're seeking to make. In terms of funding, we have enough cash on hand to really get us through those trial phases that we hope to work through by late this year and into next year. But we also have been approved for a government-guaranteed loan program that's set up to fund these types of operations. And so that should fund us through to commercialization. So that's what we're really looking to do, the combination. Now, if we're really successful, we may bring down our capital costs quite significantly, in which case we may not even need that outside financing, and that remains to be seen. So it's really a function of how the early trials go. If we're lucky and everything, the moon and the stars align, and it really starts to produce the high-quality carbon right out of the gate, then our capital costs come way down, and we're hoping for that. But the realistic view and what we have told investors is we may need anywhere kind of in the $10 million range, and we do have a capital plan for that through this government-guaranteed loan program.
And how big is this segment of the alternative energy market? And on top of which, how is it, I guess, how are you dealing with the EPA on this? Are they supportive of what you guys are trying to do?
Yes, I mean, because we're an energy efficiency concept and really a next generation electric storage device, there's tremendous enthusiasm with hybrid electric vehicles and wind turbines. There's a lot of application for the ultracapacitor, of which, again, we're a feedstock. So there is a lot of support for this. We're really excited to get going on this, and we're excited to see our production come online as this ultracapacitor really takes shape and starts to accelerate its adoption as well.
And what's your background? How did you get into the alternative energy space? So that's your specialty.
My background, I was an investment banker at Merrill Lynch in their real estate investment banking group, and very focused on finance and strategy for real estate. As I left investment banking and started my own investment firm, I started to migrate towards alternative energy, and that's where I've spent a lot of my last 20 years, if you will. And this project made a lot of sense to me. It tied in with a lot of my background in terms of being able to understand the physical plant that exists and what ultimately would come from the ability to get this carbon produced and how it relates to other energy storage devices like the ultracapacitor. And there are a few other related concepts. So I saw a big growth concept related to what we were doing here. Plus, at the end of the day, we were able to acquire a very significant plant, a project, out of bankruptcy, so therefore we bought it very, very cheap. After we closed, I received some calls from a biomass company, and they said they saw the acquisition and said, wow, did you really acquire 22,000 tons of biomass feedstock in the form of macadamia nut-shells along with your acquisition? And they said, that's incredible because we would value that biomass at that kind of level. So in effect, their point was we were getting this entire investment, this entire plant for free. So we're very bullish on the value we have there and what we can create. Now it's really a matter of executing and making the plant produce what we know in the lab it can actually produce in terms of quality of carbon. So that's really what's in front of us is getting it to actually perform. And when the plant went into bankruptcy, that's kind of where they were. They had produced carbon, so the plant has worked, it has operated in its entirety, but it never got to optimizing the quality of carbon coming out of the plant. And that's really what's in front of us. And we benefit from what they learned and can now go and make some modifications, which is what we're doing, and then get into operation.
So David, where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
Sure. The best place is to go to our website, which is www.millinvestment.com. That has an investor presentation that walks you through the details of our valuation and how we see it. You can also look at the website for Millennium Carbon, which is related to the plant in Hawaii. So that website is www.millcarbon.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 2016 SeeThruEquity Fall MicroCap Conference in New York City. With me again is David Lesser from Millennium Investment and Acquisition Company, publicly traded company with the symbol SMCG. David, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.